Hey guys, Joe here from XFoxGames. Check it out, we got the Rex Rampage. Now, this just came out about a couple weeks ago or so, and we finally are able to get our order in here from Walmart. Now, before we even start on this, guys, again, make sure you guys subscribe, get in on all the giveaways we're doing, right? Don't want to talk about that too much, but just get in on it, right? It takes you 20 seconds. Now, this cost us $19.99, about $20-ish or so, depending on where you guys live. And I think it's reasonably priced for, I mean, how big it is and what it is. At least I think. I mean, again, this thing is not too bad for 20 bucks, right? I would expect something like this, especially with, you know, some of the other blasters. I would have expected it to be like 27, 28, closer to 30. So I was pleasantly surprised when I saw this for $19.99 on our Walmart store. Anyways, let's hop right into this thing so you guys can check it out. Let's take a look at the box right out of the gate on the front. You could see, I mean, when I got it, I was like, what is this, like, big package that I got? Open it up, and it was the Rex Rampage. I was like, oh, gosh, this thing's a lot larger than what I thought it was going to be just by looking at it online. So on the front of the package, nothing too crazy. If we take a look at the back, still nothing too crazy. It's part of their, of course, DINOSQUAD kind of line. Nothing too crazy on the box. One of the things to note is they do have the Stego Smash and the Blast on the back there, which is kind of cool. We did get our hands on the Blast. We're going to do hopefully a review on that here soon, but we didn't get our hands on the Stego Smash, which I'm hoping we can get our hands on one of those. But you see, nothing too crazy with the box. It is just a lot larger than what I kind of thought. Now, when I first got my hands on this thing, guys, I was like, man, it feels like, it kind of looks like a Spectrum, right? Like I was like, man, it really looks and feels like a Spectrum. It's kind of weird. And then the back actually reminded me of like a Nerf Ultra Dorado back here. Kind of like that. I mean, there's a couple other blasters, but I was just like, man, that really reminds me of the Dorado a little bit back there. But I just thought that was kind of funny. I was thinking, man, that's it really just reminds me, the color scheme just reminds me of the Spectrum there. Anyways, if we take a look at this blaster up close and personal, I mean, they did a lot of attention to detail. Nothing too crazy here. You know, on the back end and stuff, they got a few kind of twisty rivets and kind of moldings. And, I mean, not too bad. It doesn't feel really cheap and plasticky. It actually feels pretty well built, I think. As far as the actual grip goes, it feels great. I mean, man, again, I always love the Nerf Ultra grips, but here it feels freaking great. Large grip for both adult and, you know, kid hands. The rev trigger and the trigger feel great. The mag release feels great. I'm not a big fan of the kind of pointer finger release mechanisms there. It's just not my style, but still, I mean, it pushes fairly easy, much easier than the Ultra series were. You can actually push it and they come out instead of kind of really having to jam your actual finger on there. Now, one of the things also, again, on the back, you guys, it has the 10 additional kind of slots where you can put your, you know, put extra ammunition back there, put extra darts back there. I'm probably never going to use that. Just looking at it, it looks like, man, you're able to take that back stock off. There's only a few screws, so I envision people making, you know, a larger butt stock for it so that it can extend out or something like that. So I can definitely see something like that going on. Now, it only comes with a 10-round mag. And, you know, for the most part, okay, it's a standard 10-round mag. We've seen kind of this curved design on a lot of different lines within Nerf. To be honest, I'm probably not going to use this. You know me, I'm probably going to go with either the 25-round End Strike or the 30-round drum mag here from Adventure Force, or you can go with the big one here, right? I don't use this too much. It's just, it's a lot of rounds, so I usually will stick with these two. You guys know that. These two are my favorite. And anytime you have an electronic blaster, I always feel like 10 rounds is just not enough. And these fit great. I mean, look at that. Oh, they fit on there great. They're not in front of your hands or anything like that. I felt like the 25-round drum, the 30-round drum. Now, here's the thing with this. This is really tight in there, right? That's like really, really tight. It worked. It was just extremely, look at that. It is extremely tight inside there. So just keep in mind that if you are going to use this, it's, I don't know, the extra thicker plastic or something like that, extreme tight. But the End Strike one, absolutely no problem. Super easy. Or you can use the larger one here. I didn't like this one preferably because I always feel like I got to bend the blaster a little bit to kind of get my arm out of the way. But a lot of times I'm shooting it down like a side like this, so check that out. That is just ridiculous. So whatever drum mag you use, just keep in mind that one, ugh, that one's a little tight in there. The darts that it comes with, it does come with 20 of kind of the, you just call them elite darts nonetheless, with a different color scheme, or the DINOSQUAD color scheme. I put them up against, if you could see here, up against some of the other kind of waffle heads and the bamboos. I mean, for the most part, I shot them and I did not notice a difference between the normal elites, between the bamboos. They were all pretty much the same. I didn't notice any difference in speed or accuracy, anything like that. But you do get 20 of them, which is kind of cool. So you definitely can fill up one of the smaller mags down here, all you like. Now, one of the things about this too is it is, of course, 6 volts, right? So you know me in 6 volts, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish like they would all come 9.6. Anything that's 6 volts for me, I know is going to shoot probably like 70 FPS, 60 to 70, and 70 is on the top end sometimes. So if you shot this and let the flywheels really spin up, then you get the most. But if you're shooting really quick, right, you get that kind of drop off. So just kind of keep that in mind that, yeah, it's only 6 volts. The top up here, the big, huge, kind of like integrated scope, I mean, it's large, don't get me wrong. I mean, you could look down it and you could see through it really, really easy. I mean, it probably has one of the biggest focal areas that I've ever seen kind of going through it, but it is non-removable. Looking at it, you could remove it. You just gotta do a little surgery on your blaster to open it up. And that brings me to my second point is, having this particular scope on here is fine, right? Taking it off, I think, would be cool, but there are no additional tactical rails on here. None on the side, none on the bottom. I get it. It's a DINOSQUAD type. I don't know if all the DINOSQUADs are not going to have any tactical rails and you get what you get, but at least let us change the scope on it. But yeah, you could take off the one little thing here and probably pop that off, but you probably have a gaping hole up there just by looking at it. So let's take a quick look at me here shooting this particular thing. So again, I put on the 25 round drum on there because again, I go through the 10s pretty quick. The 10 round drum, or the 10 round mag, shot perfectly fine. I had no issues with any of the type of ammo that I showed, and the 25 round drum had no issues also. Really, the only issues I had was just not pulling the trigger fully all the way back, right? So I was just really trying to just scoot those things out of there. And then again, FPS, 60 to 70, nothing too bad. If I let the motors rev all the way up and then shoot, yeah, you got on that higher end. But if I kind of shot really quick, like 2 back to back, the first one would be pretty quick. Then depending on when you pulled the trigger again, the second one wouldn't be as fast, right? That's just what it is. I've seen a lot of people 3S mod this thing, and I think that's probably what I'll do to it because there is a lot of cavity inside this thing. When you open this thing up, with the big dino head here and all this stuff, the inside is really, really chunky, which I think is awesome. So a lot of you modders out there, yeah, you're going to be able to kind of go through, take off all the screws, open this thing up, mod it, and be good. Unlike, remember, yeah, the Nerf 2.0 stuff where you couldn't mod it, was all solvent welded. This thing you can just crank right open, and there is a lot of real estate inside. So that is my review, guys, of course, on the Rex Rampage. Again, for how cheap it is, of just $20, $19.99, I was like, man, that's score. That's not too bad. I really wish they could have had a removable scope on here, a few tactical rails so I can add some of my cool stuff. But other than that, not bad. Not bad at all. I don't have too many complaints on this. And again, I think when you guys get this, you could see, I mean, that is a larger blaster, especially for $19.99. And again, it kind of reminded me of the Spectrum there. Just maybe because the colors, I think. I don't know. It just reminded me of that. But let me know what you guys think. Definitely leave it in the comments. Let me know if you guys have picked this thing up, if you guys have modded it. I'm always curious. Anyways, guys, definitely subscribe if you guys haven't already. Yes, get in on the giveaways. It takes 2 seconds. Anyways, thanks again, Fox fans.